Hey there, this is Sleeper Cab Showdown, starting with the 1934 GMC cattle truck. This truck is the oldest we have in our collection with a sleeper cab. Sleeper cabs were first introduced in the late 1920s, but they were generally specialty built, not straight from the factory. They became more popular over time and had somewhat of a presence in the 1930s. However, they wouldn't become very popular for a few decades after because trucks weren't driving super long distances, engines weren't reliable, and generally they couldn't carry enough fuel to go cross country. I'm up in the sleeper. Not a ton of room, but there's a little bit more room than you'd expect, especially considering this is almost 90 years old, which is crazy. I'm about 5'9", and I'm a little bit scrunched in here, so someone of even slightly above average height is going to be a little cramped. One thing I really like about this sleeper is that it's got great, nice amount of light comes in here, but that's a double-edged sword because if you really want any privacy at all, you are not going to get it in this truck. That wasn't really a problem back in the 1930s when Jake was driving this truck around because he was mostly going on back roads out in the country. There's not a lot of people who can snoop in on you, so I don't think that's a super big deal in this case. But yeah, I gotta give it some credit for being one of the earliest sleeper cabs, one of the earliest integrated sleeper cabs. So with that in mind, I think I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 10. I would sleep in here if I had to. Today, we're going to take a look at the 1973 Diamond Rio. Now, Diamond Rio was a brand that was formed by the White Motor Company, which at that time owned both Diamond T and REO. These were both very old, almost legendary truck brands at the time, but they were doing pretty badly by the 1960s. So White Motor Company had the idea to just merge the two. And that's what happened. That is the foundation of Diamond Rio. Diamond Rio only existed for a short period of time, but in that time they became pretty famous for their specialized custom-built trucks. These were the Cadillacs of the open road and were mostly used by owner-operators. So let's check out the sleeper cab in this custom 1973 Diamond Rio. This truck was owned by an owner-operator couple. So a married husband and wife spent their days over the road in this sleeper cab, and I don't blame them. It is really nice in here. It is fully leather upholstered from floor to ceiling. Not only do we have a full bed back here, we have a closet, we have a fridge, and we have dressers. It is pretty spacious. I think this would compare favorably to sleeper cabs that are even being made today. So there's also great ventilation. We have privacy curtains as well. So I gotta be honest, this is the nicest one yet. I think I have to give this a solid 10 out of 10. This is an awesome sleeper. I would not hesitate to sleep here if I had to.